Quick disclaimer, if you do not feel like watching me advance through this trailer frame by frame, explain each and every single thing that happens and just straight up make theories about what's going to be in Season 3, then just skip to the end of the video where I summarize all that I've understood from the trailer in a neat little tier list. So if you value your time, just go to the description, go to the last timestamp where I summarize like the meat and potatoes of this video. But if you're still here, then what it be what it do. It's been a while since I've posted anything on this channel. Season 2 may or may not have been the primary driver for that decision. But hey, if you're still here, then welcome back. Thank you for coming. And without further ado, let's jump into the trailer. Just a bit of a spoiler for what I'm going to say ahead of time. I don't think they're going back to the fucking basics. That was a lie. Well, you could cope. You could cope and say that they are going to the basics in such a good way that I was misguided to think that they are not going into the basics. It seems like I'm yapping a lot without making any sense, but it's going to become clear after like nearing the end of like the Season 3 changes that they've shown, like Shaheen's and Leroy's. So, you know, without yapping anymore, let's hop right into it. So the first few things that are noteworthy in this trailer are the changes to Heatsmashes. As you can see, bottom left, that's Lars's Heatsmash. And it may not be easy to see, but they have changed how the opponent recovers from the Heatsmash. I'm going to show two pictures. One that like you can see right now how Kazuya looks when he gets hit by the second hit of that Heatsmash, and one in Season 2 how he gets hit right now. And you can see there's a difference in animations. This along with like top center, Asuka's Heatsmash will show us that they are making spike Heatsmashes, as in Lars's and Asuka's and Nina's. Spike, give a strong spike, just like if you got hit by pull forward 1+2 in a combo, where you can recover by pressing back, and the attacker will have hella plus frames. Now, there is something interesting. You can recreate this situation in Season 2 right now. If you use Asuka's Heatsmash and only hit the second and third hits of the Heatsmash, the opponent will get spiked just like this trailer right here. And if you hopefully can see it in the clip that I'm showing right now, Asuka is only +5 if the opponent chooses to press back after the Heatsmash, which is simply amazing. Like the Tekken team deciding to make Heatsmashes +5 on hit is great. It's really great, and I think there should be more of that instead of like the fucked up Oki situation that they have going on, where like you'll with any wake up option, she's just in the right range to force you into the mix with running 1+2 and forward 1+2 after an Augusta, which she of course has because she just got out of heat. So like it's all the way fucked up. You can't do anything with that in that type of situation. But hopefully, as you can see in the clip that I'm showing right now, the opponent recovers at -5. So Jin's jab is going to trade with back 4, which is again great. There should be more of that. I should not be like it should not be like +7 on block and plus a bajillion on hit. +5 is amazing on block. The second thing that I would like to show you in the trailer is the infamous sidestep clip. Yeah, as you can see, Nina is stepping full crouch down forward 2 after crouch dash, hammer chance 4, I think it is in this game. Now, if you have watched anyone else talk about this trailer, you would know that even a sidewalk left will do this. So it's nothing really new. Now, they could like show this, they could have shown this to symbolize like a major change. There are two things that they could really have changed in how sidestep works, right? The first one is actually individually change the hitbox on every single attack, which I don't think they will do because it takes too much time and effort and expertise, and I don't think they have any of those right now. But it would be great because, you know, like every single move would be able to be stepped in a way that matters. Now, the second option, the worst one, and I think the one which is more likely if of the two, is if they buff sidestep across the board. Everyone has a better sidestep, so you can like step moves and walk moves easier. Now there is a problem with that. It's a good change, but there's a problem with that. The problem would be rather a sidestep power creep, in that, like, let's say I buff Kazuya, Jin, and King sidestep, which have relatively weak sidestep in comparison to the rest of the cast. They're good, they make stuff with, but they're weaker in comparison to the rest of the of the cast rather. If I buff these three characters sidestep, I would have to buff Lee and Shaheen and Steve sidestep, because then there would be no difference between that tier of sidestepping and the other tier of sidestepping. And if I do that, I would have to buff like Dragunov and Victor and Clive's sidestep, so they stay better than Lee and Lars and Steve and whatever. And if I do that, then I would have to buff the other tier of sidestep, which is female characters with a weaker sidestep. And if I do that, we're gonna go all the way up to Lisa and Lily, which would have even better sidesteps. Now, this might seem like a fine and dandy idea until you consider the fact that, for example, Nina can kill you when she gets into backturn. Nina, Paul, Steve, and a few other characters can quite literally do 70 to 75% depending on stage hazards and heat. And like if for example Nina sidestep a jab and she starts doing her down for 3-2 strings backturn and you die for it, I don't think that's going to be very balanced in a way. So again, like I would prefer they use like they tweak each and every singular hitbox on every move, but they don't have the time or the skill or the fucking need for that. So yeah, either one would be fine, but I would really prefer the first one, which in which they like tweak hitboxes instead of improving and buffing sidesteps across the board. I really don't want to be like killed by Paul because he sidestepped a single jab, and now he gets to do 3-2 into 3-2 into sway 1+2, and I die for it. So that's it for this clip. Again, there's nothing much to analyze except for a sidestep. This is one of the few ones where I don't go frame by frame and explain what's going on. But yeah, I think it was worth talking about. The next clip, which is the most important clip in my opinion, the one which I spent the most time analyzing, and it is the Asuka clip. Asuka does down 1+2 into forward 2, as you can see, but the forward 2 gets blocked and launched by an electric. Now, there are two camps concerning this clip. Some people are saying that, oh yeah, forward 2 is no longer guaranteed after down 1+2, and there are people who say that whoever is demonstrating the clip right now is dashing too slowly for the forward 2 to hit. Sorry, if he had done it faster, then the forward 2 would have hit. Now, I have analyzed this clip frame by frame, and I will now be showing you the results of this analysis. So what I've done here is I've taken two clips, as you can see hopefully. One of them is from the season 3 trailer, as you can see on the top left, and on the bottom right is the season 2 down 1+2 interaction, what we have right now in the game. Now, I have lined these two clips up so that down 1+2 hits at the very same frame, as you can see. If I'm advancing and rewinding, you can see that this move hits on the same frame, which is right here. Now, the first change that I want you to notice is the damage nerf on down 1+2 itself. To see that, you would need to pay attention to the hit spark, that bluish green hit spark that Asuka produces, which is characteristic of moves in Tekken that do over 20 damage. So this tells us that down 1+2, the move itself has gotten a damage decrease from 20 to, if I were to like eyeball it and just say something like out of my ass, it would be 17 damage or 18 damage, something like that, which is fine and dandy, but that's not the real problem with down 1+2. The problem with it is the fucking the forward 2 guaranteed follow-up, which leads to 16 guaranteed damage plus great wake-up options plus Nani Ragusto if she chooses to do that. That's the real problem. So in order to understand that situation, I would need your attention to start counting some frames with me. This is a clip of Asuka hitting down 1+2, and I want you to count from the frame Asuka becomes available to move, which should be right around here. When she stops being blue, that's when she is able to move around, press like attacks and do anything. That's when she is available to do stuff. I want you to count from this frame right here to when Devil Jin is considered standing here where I'm hovering my mouse. As you can see, this airborne thing will go from airborne to down to standing, because that's when he's able to block for the very first frame out of this knockdown. So if we go from let's count this as frame 1. Okay, this is gonna be frame 1, which corresponds to frame 48 of me pressing neutral. As you can see where my mouse is on the top right, on the input history. So this is frame 48 right here, and we're going to go down to frame 75 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is exactly when Devil Jin, as you can see, is considered standing. This is the first frame where he can block that forward 2. Between frame 48 of neutral and frame 75 is 27 frames if I'm not mistaken. 48, 68, 75, that is it, 27 frames, right? This means that Asuka has 27 frames to do whatever she wants to the opponent before he can stand up, and he will eat it. That's why she has a lot of like leniency to do a dash forward 2 or stuff like down forward 3. That's because she has a whole 27 frames to act before the opponents can block. If we go back to the two clips, the season 2 and season 3 clips, I want you to count again with me. Remember that 27 frames that Asuka has over her opponent when she hits down 1+2. Remember that, just remember 27 frames. On these two clips, I want you to count again. I want you to count from the first frame where the Devil Jin on the top left is able to start standing up, which should be around, if I can find it, this frame right here. This is when he is able to stand up with back, pressing back from grounded, so that he can block the forward 2. I want you to count from this frame up until the Devil Jin on the bottom right, the season 2 Devil Jin, reaches that very same frame that Devil Jin is at right now in season 3. So let's count this as frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. This is frame 10 when Devil Jin is able to start standing. There is a 10 frame difference between when season 3, the Devil Jin on the season 3 clip is able to stand, and the season 2 Devil Jin is able to stand on the bottom right clip. In other words, in season 3 you will be able to block 10 frames quicker after Asuka down 1+2 than season 2. This is great, this is amazing. And if we subtract 10 frames, which is the difference in wake up speed, subtract it from Asuka's 27 frames of advantage, then we end up with 17 frames. And wouldn't you know it, Asuka's forward 2, Tooth Fairy, Demon Slayer, whatever you want to call it, is exactly 17 frames. Now, if range were a non-issue in this situation, then Asuka would still be able to get it forward 2 because she is plus 17, technically, like quote unquote. But because range is a variable in this situation, then we would not be able to normally know if forward 2 is still guaranteed. But if you would please check this clip right here, where I hit with Asuka down 1+2 as you can see, and then wait for exactly 10 frames after I'm available to move before hitting forward 2, which is the same as the Divulgent standing up 10 frames quicker in this situation, you will be able to see that this is frame 50 of me pressing neutral. So counting from this frame, we're gonna have frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On this frame I input forward, and on the 10th frame I press forward 2, which is 10 frames total, which is the same difference that we have in between season 2 and season 3 right now. As you can see in this clip, Asuka whiffs graciously with ample distance between the two characters. What does this fucking mean to us? Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I can say that Asuka Kazama, the defensive character from Tekken, from the Tekken franchise, no longer has a power low, which does 36 damage into great wake-ups from her guaranteed grounded move. This is great. This is amazing. This is what we want from Season 3, where characters have identities and they can do everything at the same time, and the defensive character cannot fucking pester me with plus frames, and the offensive characters do not have panic buttons. Okay, great. I think this is it about Asuka's down 1+2 clip, which is again the most like analysis worthy clip in the trailer. But as you can see, forward 2 is no longer guaranteed in the open. That's a very important detail in the open, because Asuka is still plus 17. Now, here is where I'm going to start theorizing and coping for a little bit, so bear with me. Asuka is still plus 17 at least in this clip, meaning that at the wall, because again the distance is not an issue at the wall, she will still get forward 2 guaranteed. But here is where the coping starts to get serious. If we go back to the two clips of season 1 and rather season 2 and season 3, you will see that let's forget about the Divulgent for a second here. This is the first frame that season 2 Asuka is able to move at, right? This is it. This is the exact frame. I want you to count from this frame up until Asuka on the top left. The season 3 Asuka is able, but is actually moving, because I'm not sure when the person that actually controls Asuka in this clip decides to move forward, right? So this is frame 1, 2, 3, 4. That you see that little shimmy she does? That's when she is able to move too. So there's 4 frames difference between when I move with Asuka on the bottom right clip and when the top left Asuka decides to move on the season 3 clip. Now, if we are like huffing that premium cope gas right now, then Asuka is not plus 17 in season 3 after the 1+2. She is actually plus around 13, which means that she will get absolutely fucking nothing even at the wall after the 1+2. The most she's gonna be able to get is maybe a semi-grounded down forward 1 or a down forward 4 or whatever, which is great, amazing, and it's even better than what I think is going to happen. If that is the case, if she gets nothing even at the wall, I wouldn't be too mad about it becoming minus 14. But if it still does guarantee something at the wall, I would still like it to be launch. But then again, I have no idea what's going on inside of like Murray and Nakatsu's head, so I can't be too sure. So if you decide to cope, then know that Asuka will hopefully be able to get nothing out of the down 1+2 in season 3, and if you're reasonable, then maybe she's still going to get forward 2 guaranteed at the wall. So this is it for the Asuka clip. Again, it's the clip that took me the longest amount of time to like analyze and stuff, but I think it's worth it, as you can see from the change in damage on the move itself from 20 to around 17 to 18, on the forward 2 no longer being guaranteed in the open, and it may be no longer being guaranteed anywhere, even at the wall. So that's it for the Asuka clip. And next up we have the Leroy clip, where he does sidestep 3+4 into back 1+2. This is stupid. Why would they do this? Why would they give him his 12 frame counter hit launcher from a stance? This is asinine, especially after a +3 move. You can do nothing, even at the wall. Maybe you can sidestep it right, and I'm pretty sure you can backdash it, but still, like, this leads us to the same, like, relentless offense problem that we keep talking about in Tekken 8 Season 2. Now, if you are willing to cope out of your mind and say that maybe sidestep 3+4 is no longer +3, or back 1+2 from stance is not 12 frame but something slower, then I am sorry to burst your bubble, but that is not the case. As you can hopefully see from the clip that I am displaying right now on screen, Hermit's back 1+2, which is what it's going to be, is 12 frames, and sidestep 3, sidestep 3+4 rather, is still +3 because it hits on the same frame on Thingway's forward 3 as it does in the trailer. So without like yapping too much, the moves are still very much the same. Sidestep 3+4 is still +3, back 1+2 from stance is going to be 12 frame, and you are going to get launched for pressing after a mid-mid. So, moving on, we have the Shaheen clip. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is not that big a problem, since, oh yeah, he's getting a combo extension out of sneak. He gets to do down forward 4-1 into charge up 1+2, which is down for 20 frames, I believe, 20 or 30, into up 1+2. And people are saying this is not a problem because it's in a combo. And this is the part where I say, are you out of your mind? Because I can easily imagine the Shaheen player getting me to the wall, not in combo, but where we're both standing, and he does down forward 4-1. He has had enough time to charge that up 1+2, and he still has the wall splat threat of down forward 4-1-3 for a wall splat, which is fucked up. So now I have to hold the mix because he has a wall splat from that 14 frame mid, natural mid. If I choose to hit him and he does the 3, then I'm dead, 60 damage or 70 damage at the wall. And if I don't press anything, I'm holding the mix between charge up 1+2 or sneak 1+2 or a fucking sneak down forward 4-3, I think it is, which can be a heat dash for +5 at the wall for a guaranteed hit. Maybe even sidestep 1+2 is gonna flip me over, and then I'm gonna take roll and it's going to do down 1 and into the vortex again. And I'm saying, like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This is not a combo extender, this is fucking rushdown. This is rushdown right here. He's gonna do down forward 4-1 at the wall, into charge down +2, into fucking 2-3, into plus frames again, into sneak, into charge up 1+2 for like 40 damage if I guess, like, if I guess wrong, and if I guess wrong again and I duck, then he gets his wall splat. This is Tekken 8 Season 2 all over again. Now, after I'm done ranting about this for a minute right there, there could be a silver lining of copium to this, and it might be that maybe, just maybe, they are willing to focus on character archetypes. Maybe if Shaheen is able to do this to me, to mix me to hell and back when he's in heat, then maybe he will not be able to fucking be the keep out demon that he is with down forward 2, as you've seen in tournaments with XCC and AK. Maybe his hop kick will not leave him in the same position that he was in, with no forward momentum, so that people with weaker whiff punishes cannot even fucking touch him. Maybe he will not be able to enforce himself with 1-2-1, I think, or 1-2-2, the counter hit launching hits from his jabs. Maybe if they are willing to nerf that, and they are willing to buff his rush down, just like they've showed with down forward 4-1 into charge up 1+2, then maybe it might be better than what we have right now. But as I've said, this is heavy fucking copium, and I doubt they will fucking change any of what I said right now, and we're fucked. You know, season 3 is going to be season 2.5. But you can be pessimistic, you can be optimistic. I choose to be pessimistic, but you do you. The next clips are, oh my god, I keep forgetting about these clips. Fuck. I guess the first clip that we're going to talk about is Reina's down to 1+2 into the new Unsoku high, which is a high homing, which gives a crumple stun, which is going to be around +13 to +14, right? So if I keep advancing frame by frame, up until Heihachi blocks the down to 1+2, some people are coping. They're saying that maybe down to 1+2 is not going to be +7, I think it is, right now. It is going to be something less. So you're going to be able to counter hit the slower options like Unsoku down 4 and Unsoku 4, right? And I'm here to tell you that no, they have not changed anything about down to 1+2. To know that, we're going to keep moving forward, and then forward, and then forward, and then forward, up until Reina does you can see Reina doing the first frame of her new move. Right now she's moving back, which is characteristic of Unsoku, and then she's going to press the move, which is this frame right here, right? So if we count this as frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the Unsoku 2, we're going to call it, is a 13 frame homing high after a +7 mid, which is uninterruptible after a hit engager, which are going to have to hold. Not only that, but to prove to you that down to 1+2 is still +7, we will do the same thing with Heihachi. From the very first frame, Heihachi closes his left fist to do his jab, as you can see in this clip. We're going to count again. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was counter hit on the 6th frame. Now, for someone to get counter hit on the 6th frame by a 13 frame high, it would mean that the person with the high homing, which is Reina, has 7 frames advantage over Heihachi. That means that down to 1+2 is still +7. The homing is going to be 13 frame, not only uninterruptible, but you will not be able to power crush except for Rage Darts, King Muscle Armor, and Jack's power crush stance, whatever it is, since those start at frame 6. So for 99% of the cast, you're gonna have to hold the fucking mix again. Not only will you have to hold the mix, but the very few characters that could maybe do something, some sideways movement to escape this situation, like maybe Yoshi with the spin, or Lily, or Elisa, or whatever, they will not be able to do shit either right now. This is ass. There is no silver lining to this. I don't understand why they are going this way after telling us that they are going back to the basics for some fucking reason. But, you know, one can still cope. I don't know, maybe they're going to give her a plethora of nerfs, which still, like, Reina is not even that good, relatively, because everyone is good in Tekken. This is a parenthesis real quick, but the difference, you can flame me for this, I don't fucking care. The difference between Anna And the weakest character in the game, you choose whoever you want. Shaheen, Xiaoyu, Devil Jin, Fakumran, Azucena, whatever you want. The difference between Ana and that character is smaller than the difference between someone like Tekken 7 Akuma and Kunimitsu and a reliable, good character like Jin or whatever. I will stand by this. As far as relative balance goes between the characters themselves, Tekken 8 is the most balanced game we've ever had. The problem with Tekken 8 is that it's not fun to play. I will have to block for fucking five whole interactions against Clive. It becomes a single player game. Same with Elisa if I don't want to get fucking either crushed or counter hit with chainsaws. So that's about it for the parentheses over. Tekken 8 is a balanced game, but it's not fun for multiple reasons. One of which is what we're seeing right now with Reina down to 1+2 into Unsoku 2 uninterruptible. You can't power crush, and you're going to get crumple stunned for that. For plus 13, maybe down forward 1+2 or whatever. So yeah, that's everything about the Reina clip that I could see. Moving on, we have the Victor clip. Now, a lot of people are saying that his new moves, his new charge move comes out of EI, and I'm here to tell you that there is no way it comes out of EI. Again, thanks to fucking frame counting, you would see that on this frame right here. On this frame right here, you can see Victor's left hand knife poking out of the fucking purple pinkish box. As you can see, this is his knife right here. If you look at Victor's EI stance animation, he no longer holds the knife in his hand, he's holding his sword. Meaning that this move either comes out of another move, as in a string, it's the second hit of a string, or he can do it in neutral. But what I can assure you is that it does not come out of EI. However, it does send you into Perfumer for guaranteed Perfumer 1 on hit, which, it's difficult to judge because we don't know what it comes out of, what it does on block, what the uncharged version does. So this is a lot of speculation, but what I can tell you for sure, again, is that this stance right here, the stance that he's taking, even though it looks a lot like EI stance, it is not. This is either from standing or after a move, as in the second hit of a string. So this is all I can see. As you can see, he gets the guaranteed Perfumer 1 for fucking 50 damage. But maybe, like, if it's just safe, if it's minus on hit, if it's safe and minus on hit, then maybe it's not that big a problem. Although it does look like a pseudo-homing mid, so do with that what you will. But maybe it's going to be manageable. Maybe it's going to be very, like, you can play around it very easily. One can cope, again. The next clips we have is, a few clips we have right now. All three of these I think I can talk about. The first one, let's choose the top one, where Jin goes forward 1+2 into Omen crouch dash into electric, and then he does down forward 2. Let's say it's down forward 2 1+2. Now, a lot of people are saying that it looks like Devil Jin's crouch dash 1+2, although to me it looks more like his Power Crush from Zen, which is Zen 2, I think it is. Now, I'm guessing it's a mid, because why wouldn't it be? But the more important detail that I want you to see in this clip is that as Jin finishes that animation, he, as you can see in this frame right here, he runs out of heat, sorry. These little like silver sparkles that come out of him are the signal that he is done with heat. He no longer has heat. So this leads me to think that this move consumes heat. Now, if it consumes heat to make his down forward 2 extension safe, then there's no problem with that. Just like a Raven down forward 1 3+4, I think it is. It makes the move -4 from -12, I think it is, or -13. You know, it's reasonable. You use resource to make something safe. What I dislike is when you use heat, your resource, to make things plus. I'm looking at you, Paul forward 2 1+2 in heat, and armor king down back to 1, I think it is, in heat. Like, I can understand making the mid follow-up safe, but making it in plus is too much. So if you are willing to cope, then down forward, then Jin's, let's say down forward 2 1 is going to be safe at -3 or -4 or whatever. And if you're pessimistic, then it's going to be +5, +6, and you're going to hold the mix again. Now, that's it for Devil Jin's clip. A bit on the simple side. Going back in the video, I guess we're gonna talk about Kazuya's 112, Heat 112 now. A lot of people dislike this clip, saying that, oh no, this is Tekken 8 Season 2, but personally, I think this might just be the second best thing they've shown on this trailer after Asuka D1+2 no longer guaranteeing forward 2. Why is that? Because it might allude to the fact, as I've said before, that maybe they are willing to lean into character archetypes. Maybe Kazuya Mishima, the character with the best block punishment on paper, is going to get better block punishment in Heat with 112. And don't worry, it doesn't wall splat. Any person with half a brain cell will be able to tell that this is just the animation that he gets after forward 2 in Rage, which does not fucking wall splat. It adds around 15 to 20 like damage, which again is going to be a powerhouse of a punish, but it won't wall splat, and it will reinforce Kazuya's status as the guy with good block punishment, with the best block punishment on paper, right? That's my thoughts on this clip right here, the Kazuya clip. Feel free to feel however you want, but I'm standing my ground on this. And give me your thoughts in the comments. I want to interact with the community, see what they think about what I've just said right now. If they still are willing to think that this is bad for the game, or if, like me, maybe you've changed your mind. Okay. The third clip here is of Lars tying Elisa's shoelaces here for crash down 1+2 into a quote-unquote new move, which is 1+2 1. This move we used to use in Tag 2, and this is gonna sound like gibberish for people who haven't played Tag 2. If you had Lars as your second character, you would do Tag Assault at the wall, 1+2 cancel, because cancel used to keep the inbound character in the fucking field, and you would do the forward 4 string for 2 low wall hits, and the whole thing only counts as 2 wall hits, so you can still do a very good combo with your character. But again, if you have 2 brain cells, this does not fucking matter here. What matters is that he most likely has a poke to deter people from stepping to his weak side, in which you can step his down forward 1, back 4, down back 1, you know, his maybe in his rushdown style, stepping to the right will no longer be that good an option. And I don't know if other people have talked about this, or if I'm being stupid, but maybe that wind trail is used to denote that move is homing in that direction. No amount of stepping will get you to step it. I think there's a reason why they used Elisa for this clip, is because she has the second best sidestep in the game, and even she still can't sidestep 1+2 from that angle. So, you know, food for thought. This is a good Lars buff, although I don't think he needed it. Like, please just let me step the fucking character that has then 3 into +5 into I have to hold the fucking 3+4 or the 1 or the 2 or the 1 into heat dash, and I have to fucking hold the mix again +5, tie my shoelaces, kill me. I'm ranting, but still, you know, I'm neutral towards this change, new moves, whatever. The next clip we have, this is a pretty important clip. It's of Lee doing slide into HMS, Hitman stance. Now, the community is again divided on this one. Some people are saying that, oh no, rush down, but there's another camp saying that it's, you know, if you know the matchup, then it is not that scary a situation to be in. Sure, it's annoying, but it is not scary. As we can see already with Lee's running 3+4 into Hitman stance, which the orthodox counterplay would be sidestep right duck, because it makes the 2 if you block the 4 and you duck the 3. Really the only thing that's going to hit you is 1+2, HMS 1+2, which is pseudo homing for some reason. But yeah, the 1 will whiff, and everything else will either get block 2 or whiff. Other than that, I also counted the frames because for some of Lee's transitions into Hitman, he gains +3 frames from running 3-4. He goes from +3 to +6 if he chooses to go into Hitman. From 1+2, he goes from -1 on block to +2, I guess, if I remember it correctly. But from other transitions like full crash down forward 4, he does not gain any additional frame advantage. So I wanted to make sure. So I took this clip where I'd be sliding on people. Sorry, let me just lower the volume. Where I slide on Nina. Now, without yapping too much, Nina has 41 frames from the frame she gets hit with slide, which is this frame right here. Right? This is the frame where she gets hit. She needs 41 frames to be able to do stuff again, either to block or to move around or to press. Now, I went back to the trailer and I counted how many frames from impact Lee needed to go through to be able to press from that Hitman stance transitions. So going back, bear with me for a little bit. Yep, this is the frame where I'm going to right now. This is the frame where Lee hits. You can see that from the screen shaking and from his left foot like going straight instead of him bending the knee. If you count the frames, that will leave you with around 36 to 37 frames. It's a bit finicky to count. I'm guessing maybe when like the video was getting rendered, either a frame got skipped or duplicated or whatever. But let's be conservative and say that that since slide right now is +5 and he has the same recovery from slide, then he is still +5 even if he goes into Hitman stance, as you can see. So I don't need to count on up until the fucking 36th frame, but if he is around +4 to +5, which he should be according to my frame counting, then it is still not that big a deal. You will sidestep right duck, and if he goes forward 1+2, sorry, and you guess right, then it's your turn. Now, I counted those frames, and then the rest of the day passed, and then I went to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep, but then I woke up in a. This is real, by the way. I'm not like making this up for dramatic effect. I was getting ready to go to sleep. I closed my eyes, and then like I stood up in a cold sweat because I remembered that Lee's slide has a whole 6 active frames, meaning that even if he is +5 into Hitman stance, he is only +5 if he hits you point blank. If he hits you from tip range, Lee is actually a whopping plus fucking 11 into Hitman's stance, in which case you are not going to do jack shit against him. You are going to hold that mix anywhere from like plus 8 to plus 11. You are not doing shit against Lee Hitman's stance. We'll hold that shit, because if not, you will get hit by 111 into hit dash full launch. So you are going to hold that mix, sadly, very sadly. This is all I have to say about this clip right here. I sure hope I'm done with the fucking changes. My throat is hurting. Yeah, we're done. So, as I said, some changes are good, some changes are bad, but some of it is up to interpretation, really. Like, we won't know until the fucking patch notes drop. But, you know, if we were going to, like, sum the whole changes and my discoveries from this analysis, then I think it's really like a zero-sum change. If we're willing to be pessimistic about it, judging by the Shaheen clip, the Leroy clip, and the Lee clip, right? Because if we look at the good side, with Asuka no longer getting forward 2 after down 1+2, or fucking Kazuya getting his 1-1-2 into laser thingy, and Nina's it was Nina's sidestep, then those are good. But with the fucking rushdown stuff that we've seen too, then maybe it won't amount to anything, and the most it will do is just jumble the fucking tier list around. There are going to be new top tiers and new bottom tiers, you know? So yeah, that's about it. If you're still watching the video, then thank you for staying, and if you skipped to the end of it using the timestamps in the description, then welcome back. What I'm going to be doing in this part of the video is using this neat little tier list to summarize the changes that we have glossed over during the trailer. I'll also be sharing my overall opinions about these changes, as in whether they're good or bad for the health of the game, for the enjoyability aspect of the game. So moving on, the first change I want to talk about, in order of course, is the change to heat smashes on hits, on spike heat smashes, namely Asuka's and Lars's, maybe more if we're being lucky. For me, this is one of the best changes they've shown, because going from a hard knockdown into mix-ups, into wake-ups, into whatever, compared to just being +5 in front of the opponents, as we've been shown in the trailer, is simply amazing. Like, I would much rather be -5 in front of my opponents than being knocked down and having to guess if the Asuka is going to do running 1+2 into +11, or forward 1+2, and if I guess wrong I get launched, you know? Again, it's a great change, and I would like to see more of it, even for the heat smashes that don't actually spike. The second change we're gonna talk about is the sidestep clip that we've been shown. Now, for me, as I've been saying like during the video, if they individually tweak the hitboxes for each and every single move, that would be amazing. That would be the best change that they have shown in the fucking trailer. But as we know, they either don't have enough time, or the skills, or the need, or the fucking dedication to the game to do those. So what I think they're going to do is just buff the sidestep overall, which will lead, as I said before, to a sidestep distance overhaul, which means that Lily and Elisa are going to teleport behind you, and Nina, Paul, and Steve, among others, will literally kill you for looking at them the wrong way, because they have 70-75% combos from if they reach your back. So to me, it's just overall, it's a neat addition. At least I can step too, you know, it's not just Lily that can step. The next change we have is the Asuka down 1+2 change, in which we have discovered that forward 2 is no longer guaranteed. This I'm 100% sure of, and it might not even be guaranteed at the wall, which would be doubly awesome. And if that were the case, I wouldn't even think that it going from launch punishable to -14 would be that big a deal. Again, for me, this is like, it might be the best change that we've seen in the trailer. Moving on, and now we start heading into the fucking the rotten territory. Let's go with Leroy's Hermit back 1+2 change. Now, as I've said before, sure, maybe you can step it to the right, maybe you can backdash it, but the problem is that we are increasing mindless offense in that sidestep 3+4 has really good tracking because it comes out of a sidestep. It's +3, and if you press into it, then you get launched if the Leroy player does back 1+2, which deters you from pressing as a defender, meaning that you are even more disadvantaged after those plus frames, which we do not need any more of in Tekken. So for me, it's a no thanks change, you know? Maybe Leroy, like, in Leroy's toolset, it's not that, like, blatant, so I wouldn't need to send it to what are we doing right now, but for me, like, it's bad, but it's not the worst thing in the trailer. If you ask me about a fucking change that I fucking despise during the trailer, it would be Shaheen's down forward for 1 into charge up 1+2 out of sneak. Because, again, if you've seen me talk about this, or rather ranting, it was a straight rant during the video, the fucking mix-up and rushdown potential is huge on this. They can charge it from neutral, from down forward for 1 into charge up 1+2, with the threat of down forward for 1-3 at the wall, or down forward for 1 sneak, down forward 1-4 into heat dash. This has too much oppressive potential, in my opinion, so I'll be putting it in what are we doing right now. This is not what we want in Tekken right now, with the silver lining that maybe if Shaheen can only do this, and he cannot do keep out with down forward 2, and enforce his turn with 1-2-2 among other things, then yes, okay, if you nerf sidestep 1+2, then okay, maybe I can see that. But him having all of that at the same time, it just becomes boring to play the game. Moving on, another change that I fucking despise from the trailer is Reina's down to 1+2 Unsoku into, let's call it Unsoku 2, because it's a 13 frame homing high that gives crumple stun on maybe even normal hits, but as we've seen in the trailer, it's counter hit. But the bigger problem about this is that it is a 13 frame high from a position where she's +7, so not only can you not step, and you are deterred to crouch because of Unsoku 4 when she is in heat, which would be a launcher, you cannot even power crush through this. So there is seriously no way to avoid damage than to just hold the mix by standing blocking, which is stupid, which I am tired of and I do not want any more of in this game. Moving on, we have Victor's new move, which, as I said before, many people thought it comes out of EI, but as we've said, it does not come out of EI. It's either a move that he can do in neutral, or which comes out of as the second part of a string, but it is absolutely not EI. So yeah, you don't need to worry about it in that aspect. Other things about it is that it's a mid, so like you can't react and duck, and either it's homing or if I look at the animation and I try to like compare it to what we already have in Tekken right now, it might be like pseudo homing, or you can maybe step it to the right if you're lucky. But I'm going towards homing, pseudo homing. So, but there's a lot of uncertainty around this move. Maybe the charge up makes it safe, maybe it makes it plus. There's too much I don't know about this move, so I'm just going to put it in the middle. I don't like, there are too many variables to this move that I do not know about. Next up, we have Jin's down forward 2-1, the new move. As we've said, this comes out of it doesn't come out of stance, but rather it consumes heat. Now, if it consumes heat to make a mid follow-up out of down forward 2 safe, then there is no problem. We already know this with Raven down forward 1, 3 plus 4, or whatever. Maybe it's down forward 3 or down forward 4. I'm gonna call it down forward 1, 3 plus 4. It's not that big a deal, but when it becomes plus, rather, with Paul forward 4, 2, 1 plus 2, or Armor King down back 2, 1, that's when it becomes a fucking problem. The wall splat mid does not need to be fucking plus 3, plus 4, plus 6 on block. I do not need this in my life. So again, if it were to make like down forward 2, 1 safe and consume heat, then it would be a neat change. But if it were to be plus, which it might be, then I would dislike it. I would really hate that string. So all in all, I would put it in the middle, as in meh. Maybe it might be good for it to be in the game. Maybe it might be bad, you know? The next change we have is Lars' new move, new quote unquote 1 plus 2, 1, which tracks to his weak side, which I personally don't seem like I don't think he needs it. He doesn't need a mid natural to track to his weak side. Hit confirmable, by the way. You can easily like cancel this if the first hit gets blocked. But you know, at least it's not like busted in any way, shape or form. It just tracks to his weak side. If you're lucky and you step the other way, then he's dead. Yeah, so I'm going to put it in either meh or neat. I'm not sure. I'll put it in neat for now. Next up we have, yeah, Kazuya's fucking 1-1-2 in heat into lasers. For me, this is amazing, as I've said before, because it reinforces Kazuya's like identity as the dude with good block punishment. If he gets better block punishment in heat, then it cements his identity, and I think that's amazing for the game. If they were to do this with other characters, then Tekken would be way more fun than what it is right now. And lastly, we have the fucking Lee slide into Hitman transition. For me, I fucking detest this because, as we said, it is going to be around +5 on hit, with the condition that he hits you point blank, because if he hits you at tip range, then it might even become +11, at which point you cannot do anything but block, and he just like got in front of you +11 for free, either with that or a full crush into forward 43, which if he is in heat is a launcher. This is a range 4 mix-up that he is enforcing. To me, like, it is asinine to have this in the game. I do not want it. So, overall, as you can see in the spread of this tier list, there are good changes, 3 good changes, 3 bad changes, and like a good part of it is congregating in the middle. So, as I said before during the video, it seems like this is a zero-sum improvement, as in we've made 1 step forward and exactly 1 step back. You know? One can be hopeful, you know, we're never too sure. There might be some things I haven't noticed in the trailer. They might be intentionally like dropping our expectations down so that when they release the patch, they show us the really good stuff, the stuff that they have decided not to show, for us to be even like more content with the state of the game then. But this is hopeful thinking, coping, whatever you want to call it. I would like to hear your thoughts about these changes. Do you like them a lot? Do you agree with me with some of the controversial ones, like Kazuya's 1-1-2, giving a guaranteed laser afterward with no wall splat? Because a lot of people are hating this, among other things, but I think it's a good thing to have in the game, because it cements his identity. So yeah, please share your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe if you like this kind of content, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.